I picked this box up. I showed it in a video a while back at a car boot sale. I think it cost me less than £1. And I've been asked to make a keepsake box for someone. And I know that they love steampunk. So I'm going to use this box because it closes up lovely. I don't want these bits in it, which is what held the wine. So I'm just going to pop those out. I should be able to pop those out with the screwdriver. Now, I love steampunk. So this is probably something, once I've made it, I want to keep for myself. But there we go. I can't. These have been glued in as well as... So this might be a case of doing it, yeah, like that. They were glued in and nailed in. So just gently knocking it down rather than using my normal brute force. So that's much better now they're not in there. Now, I love steampunk, but it isn't as popular as it used to be. But there we go. There's always one, isn't there, that don't want to come out. Now, you can get lots of different wine boxes. So it's whatever you can pick up. But normally, they are so cheap. You can buy them online as well, really. But car boots and yard sales are the best places for them. So now that's done. My next job is I've already cut some strips of wood just out of MDF here, as you can see. And I'm going to put those equal spacing going around the box like that. Glue them on and equally on the lid as well, because I want the lid to feel broken up. So I'm going to put a couple on the lid as well. Now, I could do these by eye, but I think I will measure them. Yep, so that's about right. I'm going to just mark down here like that, so I know where each one goes. And then I'm going to glue those on using some wood glue, and I'll put some weights on them. They won't take long to dry. So we know that they've got to go there, and then I can line up the ones on the side from these ones. It just gives it a bit more character, I think. I'm just popping some weight on them, making sure they've kept in line. And now I can leave that for about 20 minutes and that should be glued up enough. While that's drying, what I'm going to do is make myself some little caps to glue onto here to make them look like it's finishing off. Now, I'm going to do these in UV resin because I can knock out loads in about 20 minutes, which is going to be ideal for that because I think that's going to take about 20 minutes. It doesn't matter that they're clear because I'm going to colour those up anyway. So all they'll need is 3 minutes to cure and then I'll show you how I'm going to colour those up. So that's cured now and that hasn't taken long to make, and there we go. We have got a lovely clear little cap which I can put on here and just give it that last final finishing touches when I come to decorate. So I'm going to carry on, make quite a few more of these, and then I'll come back and show you what the next step is. I've finished making these. They didn't take long at all and that's still drying, which is excellent. What I'm going to do now is just paint the backs of these black because obviously they're clear at the moment. I'm using an acrylic paint for this. Probably be a lot easier if I didn't have my gloves on. And I'm putting them on the cardboard because I'm also then going to pop them in my curing box just to dry this paint off, and then I can finish the fronts once the backs are finished. So while they're drying in the curing box, I can glue these next ones on because these are lovely and dry, and I will do them in exactly the same way. Mark them off, and then once these ones are dry, I'll flip the box around and then do the other side as well. So these are dry now. All I need to do is give them a coat over the top using this copper metallic marker. Now the reason I've got black underneath is because that will also show through, and I don't want these to look like they're brand new in places. If some of that black comes through, I'm quite happy with that. On the resin, this will take a little bit longer to dry than the acrylic paint, but it's well worth the wait. I will stick it in my curing box again to ensure that they dry quicker. And while the other side's drying, this is my job now. See, they look quite nice. Now these are dry, what I'm going to be doing is covering everywhere, but not the actual bits that I've glued on. I'm going to be covering everywhere else with paper because I want this to look and feel like it's a broken leather. All I'm going to be using for this is some PVA glue like this on here, and then crunching up a little bit my paper. And then I will go over it again with some PVA glue. And that won't take too long to dry, and then I can do a paint effect. Now, I don't want to do these edges, so anywhere that the edges have got any on, all I'll do is I'll go over that and trim that off at some point. And it doesn't matter if it overlaps as well, because that will just add some texture to it. And all this brown paper is the brown paper that comes as the padding in your Amazon packages. I do rip it so that the edges aren't straight. So what that allows me to do is when I've got it here like this, I can brush these seams in and then they'll lay much flatter. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll finish off the whole box and then I'll show you how I'm going to finish it off and go the next stages. I'm going to quickly make some of these pipes to put on it as well, and I'm going to use Resin-Crete for this because I know that will cure really quickly and I'll be able to get on with that, and it will cure lovely and hard as well, and it's really nice and hard wearing. I only need to use 50 grams of Resin-Crete, so if I use 50 grams of Resin-Crete I just need to use 15 grams of water because I know that that will fill that mold up, and I'll probably do cast that about 4 or 5 times, and all I need to do is pour that in these molds. That'll cure up really quickly. I can knock these out in probably about a couple of hours. Just keep going back to this. See, 50 grams, perfect. Fills that mold up wonderfully. You do get to know how much stuff you need for each mold when you've used them a lot. Well, these are all cured now, and so I can take them out of the mold. I'm going to stick them in my curing box now for about an hour, just to dry them out completely. If I need to make any more, that's not a problem. I can just make some more. I think I should have enough now, because I've got all these done as well. Before I glue these on, oh, I made this large one as well because I've got this little face of a clock that I rescued from somewhere and I'm going to build that up. But before I glue them on, what I will do is I will seal the backs where I'm going to glue it down, because once you've sealed it using the Resin-Crete sealer, it glues on really well. So much better. All you need to do is use the sponge that comes with the sealer like this. Get some on your sponge and lay a little coat all the way over. Now, I'm not going to seal all the way over because I want the paint to absorb into them anyway. I think it will give it a great look. That won't take long to dry either. So I've laid out now how I want my pieces to fit on here. All I've got to do is glue it on, and that shouldn't take long. All these have been sealed, so they'll glue on really easily, and I'm going to be using just a clear all-purpose glue to glue them on. Some of them are made out of resin. I've had them quite a while. If I get any leftover resin, I often make little bits of cogs and things, really, for this purpose. All you need to do is just pop your glue on there, once you're happy where everything's going to be, and push your pipes on. Well, the top's all finished. Now, I did contemplate putting some bits on the sides, but actually I've decided against that. I think that is going to be enough. What I need to do is paint that down, and I want a really quite a dark red to paint this with. So I'm using acrylic paint here, just popping that into a jar, and now I'm going to add a little bit of black to darken that down. There we go. I can always add a bit more, and I'm also going to add some water because I want that to be quite a thinnish paint to go on there. The reason I put it in a jar is then I can mix it quite easily by shaking it up. Hey, and now I've got that done, what I can do is make sure that I go round and paint this on everywhere, giving it a full coat, and also the sides as well, because this is the first layer of paint that I'm going to be using. There will be other layers going on this, and some highlighting as well. What I want to make sure is I've got no white showing on the pipes or the cog. I don't want any of that colour coming through because I want it to be a consistent paint effect. So that's nearly dry. I don't want it fully dry. I've also done the outsides of the box as well. I don't want it completely bone dry because what I'm going to do now is add a colour wash, and all I've done is add some red on this and some of that darker mixture, and I'm going to put this all over here like that, and then let this fully dry before I do any of the next stage. I'll also do the same on the sides of the box with this colour wash as well. Well, this is dry enough now for me to do the next stage on, and what that is going to be is using quite a bright red and then dry brushing that over here like this. Now, once that dry brushing soaks into there, that'll darken off quite a lot, but that's fine because I'm going to go over it with a couple more colours as yet anyway. I should do the same as this on the sides of the boxes as well. And now I'm going to do the same with a bright orange and dry brush that all the way over as well. And the last colour is a little bit of gold. Now, I'm only going to put a little bit of this over because I don't want it to be too gold. I just want it to pick up some of the gold every little places. Brighten it up. There, like that. That's going to be enough. And then I'll leave this to dry overnight because I want it to be completely dry, because I will put a satin varnish over the top of this, protect it, and also to give it that little bit of a satiny finish. This is all lovely and dry now, and I've got these bits that I did right at the beginning to put on here, but I don't like them because they're too bright. So what I've done is just dry brushed over them a little bit, letting some of that bronze come through, and I've decided I'm going to put these on these corners. I've also got these bits here that I'm going to pop on just to give it a little bit more lift. I'm also going to, once these are on, varnish it with a satin varnish, not a gloss varnish because I don't think it should look glossy. They're on now. Next job, give it a coat of satin varnish. Well, that's all finished now. I'm really pleased how that's come out. I absolutely love it. Wish I was keeping it for myself now, to be honest. But I could always make another one. I like the colour of this, so you could brighten it up if you wanted to by using different colours and highlighting it. I painted the inside black. It's going to be a perfect keepsake box for the person I've made it to, who absolutely adores this type of steampunk. If you want to learn more about some of my upcycling projects, then please check out the video that's coming up next. I think you'll really enjoy that one. Boot the like button, hit the subscribe button, but most of all, enjoy your crafting. Take care. Bye.